Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk to you about men's hair, men's fashion. Then I'm going to get into budgeting and what you do with the rest once you make a healthy budget and you chop your paycheck up like this and you say, oh my gosh, only 2% of my paycheck I actually need. We'll get into that. Men's hair. All right, guys. If your hair is kind of getting in my personal space when we're talking, like I'm scared that one of your hairs might get into my mouth, you're not managing your hair. You have to look like you manage your hair. That's the whole look right now, that you're managing the situation right there. So if it doesn't look managed, then your hair is managing you and you're its little bitch. So what you need to do is you need to go to the store, like the drugstore, any of those drugstores, like the pharmaceutical stores that give you your prescription drugs, etc. And what you need to do is you need to ask them, do you sell men's hair clippers for the top of their head? And they'll say, yeah, that's over in this aisle. I'll take you over here. We have this one, this one, this one, and this one. Buy the heavy duty one. Buy like the box is heavy and it's the heavy duty one because you're a man and you've got man hair and it takes a heavy duty one. The really light, fine ones are for people with thin hair or fine hair. Go home. Don't just shave your head. Put a clip on it that put like a number 7. A number 7's about that long. Make your hair that long. You just go rah, 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 and you'll see tufts of this extra crap just fall on the floor. And then you're gonna have to sweep it up and clean up. Don't just leave it, please. Your roommate will think there's a squirrel in there, or your friend or your mom, or if you live alone, you'll freak out in the middle of the night. So clean it up. Don't leave it for a maid for 2 weeks for your maid to clean up. That's just bitch work that you're saving for a bitch who's not a bitch. But she could be a bitch to you and she could steal your watch. So watch it. Anyway, that's men's hair. Just get the clippers and clip your own hair. Then you get good at it. And you're like, maybe on the sides, I'll do like a 2 here, then a 4, then a 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And then at the back, maybe I'll do like a 4 up the back. That's how you get creative. So anyway, find your own style. That's men's hair. How about men's fashion? Men, what can I say? If your clothes look like they need to be thrown away, no one really thinks that you're respecting yourself. They're going to think either you're an alcoholic or you are chronically, clinically depressed and you don't like anything anymore. So if your clothes look like they need to be thrown out, throw them out. Try and go to stores that you can afford. That's the main thing here, men. If you're making $2 million a year, don't go to stores with $2 million shoes. That's your entire year's salary. Go to stores with like $5,000 shoes. Okay, you've moved up a notch, but you've made a huge compromise. You've gone from $2 million shoes to $5,000 shoes. Really, what I'd recommend is like a $500 shoe is going to be enough. Where do we draw the line with comfort and luxury? But, anyways, men, choose an affordable store. Choose a store that has your size. Choose a store that has clothing that excites you. If you're not excited about the clothing, no one else will be to see you in it. I'm excited about this shirt. It's got a logo, it's a bright color, and I like the way they did blue and orange together. So I got excited to put it on, so I'm excited to be wearing it. And I think it flatters my skin tone. So that's that about my clothes. But think of that for you. Flatters your body, flatters your skin tone, goes with your wardrobe that you have at home so that you don't look like one day you wear Jekyll, one day you wear Hyde. And about your budgeting, as for men and women, a healthy budget. How much money do you actually need? Because if you take home a big paycheck, like we're talking like $50,000 a month, to me is a big paycheck to be just sitting in a checking account like, woo, $50,000 a month. Because some people, we out here, we like eating on $2 a day, okay? And we out at the food bank and the free church meals, and we out here, okay, some of us. So $50,000 a month to some of us sound woo, 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 wasting his money. He could be a goddamn millionaire, but instead he broke. So what you need to do, a reasonable budget, if you're making $50,000 a month, you could at least take it down to $10,000 a month and then take the $40,000 extra and start putting it in one of those locked in registered accounts. Those give you the best tax breaks. So there's income tax on investments. But if you lock in the money, you basically pay no tax, but it's locked in until you're like 70, so you can't touch it. You can't, if your friend says, hey, you, me, we're going to buy a castle together, brother. We're not the richest, so we can't have our own castle, but you, me, we're going to buy a castle together. You just say, no, sir, my money's locked in, because how often are you going to go to that castle? How much joy is that castle going to bring you? Now think of the misery and the pain and the huge bills that castle's going to bring to you. One of the castle walls is leaking every time it rains. How are you going to deal with that? There's no crew around. There's no roadway to get to it. There's no town nearby with a crew that has concrete to fix your castle wall. You don't need a castle if you're making $50,000 a month. So get your budget down to $10,000 a month. I got my budget down to about $1,170 a month. That is extreme cheapskate, right? Like, can't take my girl out to eat. We get it delivered. You know, she's on my big budget. She wants to live the fabulous life, and I want to prove that you can live fine on the global average minimum, or prove that it's just not worthy of humanity and you have to raise the global average minimum. But I'm out here on the global average minimum, and I'm making it look good to some people. To some people, I'm not making it look good, and they think it's a little too shabby for someone of my education level. But anyways, my wife, she can afford delivery, the fresh food, the homemade popsicles from some woman who makes cakes. So it's a cake popsicle, and she gets the fruit frozen and the yogurt infused and the gelato underneath. And this is like a $10,000 a year popsicle service that we pay for. I don't live like that though. On the day to day, I'm spending like $5 a day. I'm out here hustling. But get your budget down to like, I don't know. I think you could, if you're making $50,000 a month and right now you're spending $50,000 a month, I challenge you to get it down to $10,000 a month. How do you do this? Look for stores that have flattering clothing, that are in style, that your boss will approve of, that are just way less expensive. Just way less expensive. My guess is that you're spending way too much money on clothing. You're buying like the silk pants, and once you wash them, they just don't fit anymore. So you've got like 800 pairs of pants that kind of don't fit, and you think, well, I donate to charity, but guess what? They don't fit anyone. They barely fit you in the store, and then you get them home and shrink them, and then you give them to Goodwill. They don't fit anyone. They're just sitting in the store.